The Aam Aadmi won at the end of the day, at least it appears to be that way after threats of action by Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal against surge pricing. Uber and Ola have temporarily scrapped the hiked fees. They say the higher rates normally come into play when there's a greater demand.
Tempers in Delhi rising faster than the heat. First proper day of Delhi's date with odd even 2.0, and many commuters say they were shocked by how much they were being charged by app-based cabs. Surge pricing or higher rates to offset the great demand was at play, and as the chorus against surge pricing rose, many asked the Delhi Chief Minister to improve systems for his pet scheme.
Just be fair to the people who are earning like 25,000-30,000 or 35,000 rupees. It's really expensive because if you think you're spending like around 600 to 700 rupees a day.
Consumers complained surge pricing, which was earlier restricted to peak hours, was being reported through most of the day, and in many cases there were no cabs available for hours.
बंदा अपनी गाड़ी में नहीं निकाल सकता, ऑटो वाला लेके जाने को तैयार नहीं है, मेट्रो पूरी भरी हुई है, करे क्या आम आदमी की सरकार है, आम आदमी सबसे ज्यादा प्रताड़ित है.
And for once, the BJP was batting with the Aam Aadmi Party. A BJP leader asked the Chief Minister to intervene, and Arvind Kejriwal was quick to react, threatening the cab platforms with permit cancellations if they charged more than rates prescribed by the government.
मेरे को पता चला है वो 5-5 गुना 6-6 गुना लोगों से चार्ज कर रहे हैं. ये तो बिल्कुल गलत है. ये तो लोगों की मजबूरी का फायदा उठाने वाली बात है. तो इसके ऊपर अभी हम जाके मीटिंग कर रहे हैं और हम एग्जामिन करेंगे कि उनके खिलाफ क्या एक्शन है.
And the threat worked. Operators Ola and Uber, who had argued surge pricing or dynamic pricing is a function of demand and supply, backed down, saying they were withdrawing the move. So the Aam Aadmi won in the end. And the big question many are asking, will surge pricing in other states be history soon too? Experts say it may only be a matter of time. With Simarpreet Sembi and Abhishek Singh, Natasha Jog, NDTV.
Well, is Delhi really ready to make this permanent? Joining us tonight from the Aam Aadmi Party, we have Ashish Khaitan. From the BJP, its senior leader and spokesperson Arvind Gupta. Karthik Ganeshan, who's a senior research associate with the Council on Energy, Environment and Water, is here in the studio with us. Photographer Raghu Rai joins us tonight as a citizen of the capital and to give his views on how he thinks it's going. But let me first ask Arvind Gupta on this issue of surge pricing, because Arvind Gupta, you were among those who actually publicly complained about what was happening today. Now these cab companies have said that they have withdrawn the surge pricing. You say that till this evening, they were still charging high prices.
Yes, so what we have seen on social media is till the evening they were charging surge pricing, very exorbitant surge pricing. I use these companies quite often, and there is a pattern of the surge pricing. It's about 2x, 3x, and that too at the peak hours. But it was across the city today at all hours. So I posted around afternoon that there was 4.7x surge pricing. My contention is very simple. If the dependence on Ola and Uber was there, and that was known to the Aam Aadmi Party, Arvind Kejriwal government, why did they not, after the lessons of 1st to 15 January, the first trial period, actually intervene and take this as a preventive step with the app-based companies, rather than when the public outcry happens? I think this second trial, or whatever they're calling it, is very ill prepared. It shows them, it's just a popularity contest. It's a PR campaign they're doing. There is no preparation that has gone in. There is no learnings from the first set of trial run of odd even that was done. So far, complete failure.
Well, Ashish Khaitan, how would you respond to that criticism? Because it's coming from Arvind Gupta, who's from the BJP, but also from a lot of regular folks who had difficulties today with these cab companies, and who are saying that, look, this time it's different. Schools are open. It's not a holiday today. It's very hot, and the circumstances of trying to implement this are much more difficult. It may be a noble idea, but infrastructurally, we're still not ready. Ashish.
First of all, this whole issue of surge pricing was brought to the notice of the government, I think sometime yesterday, and immediately the government took corrective action. And for the first time you are seeing that when an elected government takes stern action against private players and their attempt to fleece the common man, that action has not only detrimental effect, it also leads to corrective policies. You would be knowing this, that we put a ceiling on radio cab taxis, on aggregators, and on Kali Pili taxis today, and immediately Ola and Uber, they have rolled back their surge pricing. So the government is not sitting, the government is proactively.
I think when the public outcry happened, I think when the public outcry happened, then you have reacted to that.
I didn't intervene you, sir. Yeah. I didn't intervene. Please, let me complete.
He is saying you reacted when there was a public outcry over it.
Yeah. See, these are implementation issues, and you can accuse the government or criticize the government when government is not reacting to the problems that are happening out there during implementation. This government is ready, and this government works 24/7, and all the learnings of the January odd even have been implemented. We didn't anticipate the private operators to resort to surge pricing, and mind you, they have resorted to surge pricing even in Bangalore, and even other places, not in Delhi alone. So it is not that directly a result of odd even policy necessarily, but the government was quite acutely aware of the problem and immediately reacted, and we have ensured that they have rolled back their
Ashish, before I come to the rest of it,
I say that people are inconvenienced.
No, I just want to, on the point that on the cabs, I'm sorry to interrupt you, I'll come back to you on the inconvenience issue, because we've got Gagan Bhatia, the managing director of Uber North, who's joining us via Skype from Gurgaon this evening. Mr. Bhatia, Uber issued this statement this evening saying that it was going to stop this surge pricing, and I can see from the statement that's been issued, you're not happy about doing it. Clearly, you've explained why, how customers were notified in big bold text. They have to confirm in order to request for a cab. You've given the logic behind it. And at the end of the day, though, you have been forced to back down by the government. People have thought that at this time when transport is such an issue, cab companies were being extremely unfair.
No, absolutely. I mean, sorry, absolutely, we are not very happy about it. In fact, it really hurts us that we had to turn off surge. If you go back to the times of pre-Uber, when people had to book cars, days in advance and still not know whether they're going to get the cars, surge pricing is the pillar on which the reliability of on-demand models was built. And this is exactly why today hundreds of thousands of people are able to rely on an on-demand service. Surge pricing is not something that came in today. It's been there in our business model for 6 years and has made us one of the most reliable services. And today, we are flooded with messages from our genuine riders who are like that we are not getting cars because the entire market dynamics, the entire pricing model has broken down, and people are just not the reliability of the business when it was most needed during odd even is not there. And the only reason we shut it down is because we have to also think about our other partners who are our drivers, because a lot of them have bought new CNG cars and under the threat of cancellation of their permits, which will severely impact their livelihood. We had certain responsibility towards them, and that's why we had to temporarily turn surge pricing off. So we can work with the government. We trust the AAP government that if we talk to each other, we'll be able to sensitize them towards the merits of the policy and how it is actually our mission is the same. And that is what we want to get to.
Arvind Gupta wants to intervene on that. You disagree with the reasoning given?
Well, I think surge pricing is part of the economics that they say, but on the other hand, there was no discussion or dialogue before before today, I would say that
you have a transport crisis already in the city.
Yeah, so they should have planned for this. They should have sat with Uber and Ola, and what Mr. Khaitan is saying, that they have learned something from the previous versions. They should have sat with these companies and said there is an upper limit to surge pricing. You can't go beyond the highest prescribed limit, the MRP, in a way of per kilometer pricing, and that has not been done clearly. This is what this conversation shows. This is clearly. I mean, Gagan, I'm not debating your surge pricing. I'm not debating the economics of your surge pricing.
It could have been planned better. There could have been a ceiling. That doesn't sound unreasonable. That Ashish Khaitan, could that have been done? Could that have been planned better?
Hindsight is 2020. I mean, I don't know a government or a policy which is so perfect that nothing would go wrong and there would not be even an iota of inconvenience. So hindsight is 2020. BJP is blessed with that hindsight. Unfortunately, Aam Aadmi Party is not blessed with it. No, so we are human. We are learning from it. We are doing all this because we want to augment public transport in Delhi and at the same time combat air pollution, because we don't want Delhi to have this tag that Delhi is the most polluted city in the world. You know the kind of health hazard that it is posing to the people of Delhi, air pollution. children are suffering, elderlies are suffering, and whether it's winter or summer, the pollution is there.
You know, you're
odd even is not the
right.
only thing that we are doing.
Okay,
You know that we have a 15-point
you're right,
agenda.
but except even the pollution figures are
odd
being
even is only one
disputed
aspect.
today.
It's unfortunate, Nidhi, that the media only focuses on odd even, and media doesn't talk about the vacuum cleaning of the roads that Aam Aadmi Party is doing,
Well,
the urban forestry that Aam Aadmi Party is
Ashish,
doing.
I'll come to you on this, and I'll come to you on the pollution figures as well, which are also a little disputed today because there's all kinds of research that's coming out on the pollution figures. I'll come to that. But let me ask Raghu Rai, as a citizen of the city, Mr. Rai, how do you feel about this scheme? Do you think that Delhi is anywhere close to being ready to do this on a regular scale? You know, once a fortnight every month. Are we really ready for that?
Well, you see, first of all, I'll say that the local participation, the citizens must learn to participate in a huge problem like this. And without our participation and taking a bit of beating here or there or going through the difficulties is part of life. And if we want only pleasures, then we can't make a difference as a collective nation, you know. The problem is that we are individuals, we fight for individual happiness. And also let me tell you, last time when it happened, I have two cars, both odd numbers, and we could take our car only once every second day. But the traffic was easy. In Delhi, life has become so difficult that reaching from one point to another, no matter when you start, is unpredictable, and it became easy, and the pollution was less. And it's high time that we, the citizens, must learn to participate and go through a bit of difficulty here and there and make a difference, collective difference. That is the need of the hour. That's what we don't have in Indians.
Well, you know, what you're saying is something a lot of citizens do echo. They're saying that we need to do this, together, and individuals need to come together. Karthik Ganeshan, though, tell us what really has been the impact on pollution, because we read all kinds of data. There's, one data that says that it actually improved, but now this morning there was another report in the Hindustan Times on page 1 saying that pollution actually spiked. On the 16th of April, which was day 2, that was on Saturday, and it said 3 times higher than it was before the launch of round 2 of odd even at some places. So what's the story?
Right. So pollution, as these graphs indicate here, is being seen as a very short-term phenomena, and these really change with regard to the meteorological conditions that exist in Delhi at that point in time. So we did an analysis in January in the first round, and we found that despite, pollution was increasing, and it really was down to the fact that the weather had changed, the winds sort of directions had changed, and it was colder as well. So attributing pollution increase to the odd even scheme entirely is wrong, and to say that it was a failure or a success on that basis is also incorrect, because in the short term it really is driven by factors which are much larger than just the traffic on the roads. You must remember that vehicles contribute only to a small fraction of the overall pollution that's there, especially
so
PM2.5.
pollution hasn't come down because of odd even, but it hasn't necessarily also surged because of it.
Surged
That's
as well.
what
So
you're saying.
Traffic contributes about 25% to the pollution, right? Anywhere between 25 and 29% to the PM2.5 levels, which means that there are a host of other factors that need to be controlled for before you actually come to a conclusion that pollution is actually changed as a result of odd even or not, right? With a reasonably good level of compliance, you can anticipate about 15% reduction in the emissions from the passenger vehicle segment alone. There have been lots of credible research agencies that have shown it, but that's not easily discerned by you and me just standing somewhere and seeing, oh, pollution has come down or gone up.